Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reports that the Chiefs could look to bring back two familiar faces in Mike Danna and Donovan Smith. Obviously, we've talked about the left tackle position with Wanya Morris and JD. And then also we talked about Mike Danna possibly getting a lot of money out in the open market. And for some reason, I'm shocked that he hasn't been picked up yet by a team. But JD, what do you think about
their value? Go ahead.
What were you saying?
I said, I'll value their value.
Yeah.
So,
I know. What do you think about bringing these two back? I mean, if these are two of the guys that we're valuing to bring back, and that was kind of part of the whole idea of trying to get that money back to spend on our guys and retain more of our guys from last year's Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's a report. How legitimate are they on the reports? I mean, if he's getting a sniff of this, I don't mind it at all. I like Donovan Smith. Donovan Smith is a starter in the league. He is. I think he played well for us. And obviously he had got hurt last year, which hurt him as far as, what he was, obviously getting on the market. Like, okay, this guy keeps getting hurt. There's some things about it, but I like him. I like Donovan Smith. He's a physical tackle. He did a good job, blocking for Patrick. He did a good job. He did a solid job at left tackle. I liked him when we brought him in for that amount of money. So can you put something together to maybe say, hey, look, if Wanya is going to be the future or he's not, what are we going to do? How about we try to get him to a 2-year, 3-year deal, right? Do something like that. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, depending on what he's asking for, right? Depending on what he's asking for. So I think it's something that's doable. But Donovan, to me, man, he's a pro. He's a guy that understands the business. He understands how to block. He's a solid starting left tackle in the NFL. Pure and simple. He is. Danna. Now, to me, this makes sense. Like you said, this is what we think the value is. Okay, the Chiefs obviously love him because they know who he is. The teammates, they know who he is, how hard he works. Other league they don't know that. You know what they look at? They look production. The teams are looking at. They might ask what a guy is in the locker room. How is he a locker room guy? Yeah, man. He's like one of the great teammates. Okay. Well, how many sacks did he have? How many pressures? Was he good against the run? So they look at film. So when they try to invest into a guy, they want to make sure they're getting what is advertised on the film. That's what they want. Okay. They'll take, and we know this. We've seen teams that take guys who are not locker room guys and pay him because he can play, right? Jadeveon Clowney just got a big old deal. I seen that sucker he keeps going places and they paying him money every year. If I was Jadeveon Clowney, I wouldn't even start long-term deal anywhere. I just keep going and hitting everybody over the head like he's been doing. He just got a 2-year. I forgot what he got. 2 years something.
2-year, $24 million.
24 mil. I mean, it's good for him, too. Jadeveon Clowney, he's loving it. He's loving it.
He's like the Kirk Cousins of DNs.
Yeah, that's true. Very good one. Very good one. So, but Danna, man, he's somebody that we treasure. Okay, we love his presence. We love his hard work and his effort. These two guys, man, seem simple to me. Okay, so then all of a sudden, do you address the tackle issue in the draft, right? Because you got a solid starter in the NFL. Hopefully he stays healthy the entire way, would help you. Mike Danna, obviously, coming out, right, because of Menahu's going to be out. If you want going to address it in the draft or maybe free agency. And so Mike would be the guy that you bring back, unless you find somebody else. I'm sure they probably shot for Jadeveon, and I'm not playing for $5 or $6 million. I need to, he's looking for the big bucks, and he got them. So that's how it all shakes out. It's all shakes out like that, man. But man, a guy that everybody loved, Mike Danna, come on, absolutely.
Now, seeing because you obviously we talked about this before. When you're looking at a game, it's different than the way we're looking at. Us fans are looking at the game. Us football just kind of simpletons, but you're looking at it and you're looking at everything. when you see that, obviously we would say it the way we value Mike Danna because he's been around these teams that have won Super Bowls. What do you think if you had a kind of, you obviously don't know what teams are thinking, but if you were another team who's looking at Mike Danna, what would you say the reluctance is on another team to bring in Mike Danna? So obviously his numbers aren't staggering. They'll blow you off like, whoa, like look at these numbers. So they don't do that. But what do you think the reluctance is for teams when it comes to Mike Danna?
First off, does he fit in our scheme? Number two, is he physical enough to, to stand up against the run, right? And, they ran straight at him, kind of pushed him around. And is he big enough to play decent defensive end? Because he is kind of that tweener guy, right? Kind of undersized defensive end. So those will be the key components I'm looking at, like, okay, here, and here, right? And so if you're showing me that now you got 12 sacks or something like that, yeah, we'll deal with it. But if I'm seeing on film that, man, he's not that good against a run, okay, or he's more of an undersized defensive end, is he holding himself up? And even though he made plays last year for us, he made some significant plays. He played really well, solid defensive end for us. Is he a guy who's a starter for you, right? Is he a guy that's going to come in and make a difference? So this is what teams are looking at. They're asking this question about Mike. We know, because the guys in the locker room have said and on the practice field, that he works his tail off. That's what he does. And he's a scrappy guy. He's gonna smile while he's doing it. He's never gonna complain. He probably needs more because they see how much effort he gives in. And so when you see a guy that comes in with his lunch pail and a hard hat every single day, I mean, you got to just appreciate a guy that way. But other teams don't know that, and to be honest, that's on the bottom of they list. They need numbers, Marcus. That's what they need. They need production. And so that's the main thing. That's going to be the put off, man. Size, efficiency, numbers.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. I think Noah John Marshall mentioned it. With the Menu being out, having depth at that position and having guys we could trust and count on until whenever he comes back. I don't know how long he's going to be out next year with the ACL injury. I saw pictures online. It looks like he's rehabbing well, but he could be out for half the season next year. So we're going to need guys. And, it's one thing to draft somebody, and there's another thing to, rely on the sophomore year of King Felix. But Danna, we know we're going to get from him. And as you said, he's the guy works his ass off. So, having a guy like that back in the building in that position group could be beneficial. And if he is going to take a 1-year deal, kind of bargain Veach style type deal, then I'm all for
it. Yeah, me too. So,
the Donovan Smith thing is interesting because right when the Super Bowl ended, he made comments about going to play for the Jets. I think he's from New York, I think, but he wanted to play for the Jets. They end up signing Tyron Smith and then traded for Morgan Moses. So they have no need for that for him. But it's going to be interesting to see if there's any other teams who are interested in bringing him on. And obviously we're almost a month away from the draft. So it's getting close. But as we've talked about, though, some guys will probably wait until after the draft. So at this point, hey, I might as well wait, right?
Yeah, see where everybody's going to fall at. That's usually how it works. But do you get into camp, show guys, get into some good shape, get somewhere where you're comfortable? So he's been here. Just bring all his suitcase and bags back here to the KC. Okay, it's going to be home for me for a couple of years. Why not? And if he signs, it might just force their hand, look, then we're just going to go ahead and deal with getting Wanye better for another year, behind you, right? But what harm is that to do? So that may be more of the thought process, okay? And so if you do have a guy like that here, Wanye could get, maybe some snaps there as well. We'll just have to see. The thing is, you can't go in with questions with anybody. It could be anybody, Wanye Morris or whoever, whatever position, and going in with questions without significant guys behind you. So that's the way I look at it. and Donovan gives you that. So, do you use a pick? Were you going to use a pick for in the draft for offensive tackle? Because that's another question. It's another question, right? So,
because you'd hate to use another pick in the first 4 rounds for a tackle, and then sign him. It's like, wait, what? I mean, what are we doing here? It's a wasted of an asset if you do that.
Yeah, well, you still in the same boat. You got 2 tackles who are young, looking at each other like, well, who's going to do it, right? And other one's got like significant. Wanye was like, well, I played in 3 games last year in the NFL, so I'm, I got more on you, right? So let's see, is somebody you're going to go get in the first round, like I said, one of the top guys? I don't know, Marcus. Hey, it's up and down, man, with tackles, man. So it's just one of those positions.
It would be more clear to us if we do sign Donovan Smith and, like you said, 2-year deal. That's okay. We can at least not have to worry about this for 2 years. And they think that's about a 2-year window for Donovan Smith. That's great. 2 years, we don't have to think about this. And then 2 years time, we go and get that draft pick. Then also too, it opens up what we can do in the draft. We do bring back Donovan Smith. Okay, like we have this. These are priorities. Receiver, pretty much BPA, whatever we want to do at that point. So. Yeah, be very interesting. It's gonna be a very interesting time to see how everything kind of shakes up with the free agents and these Jeremy Fowler report right here. With we bring back Danna and Donovan Smith, and also too, Fowler's one of those guys who when he reports stuff. I mean, he's not one of these like random Twitter accounts. I mean, he's like he knows his stuff. So there might be smoke to that. There might be a little bit something there. So I think. Yeah. Because I remember when we had that with the combine, when they asked Andy Reid about Donovan Smith, he kind of like blew it off. Remember, it was like, yeah, he was a good leader for us, but Wanye's got it. So it's like, that'd be very big change up for us to go from, Wanye, he was a good kind of mentor for Wanye, but then now about a month later, we're picking him back up. I'd be kind of shocked if we did it. When I saw the report, I was just shocked just based on what Reid has spoken about Donovan Smith since year ended.
Well, I think really it's kind of up in the air. So if he's going to New York, he's trying to do this, and it didn't happen. Andy probably say, hey, man, look, we'd love to have you again. Okay, you did a hell of a job for us. Love to have you. I understand that you might have wanted to go to New York and be from where you're from. If we got a home here, man, we like what you did for us. Why not come and stay? So, we won a Super Bowl with you. Come and win another one. Be a part of us again. And these 2 grown men talking with each other, right? And he just didn't want to say, well, we're going to go out. He's like, hey, man, look, I wish the guy well, but I am probably still talking to see, where his head's at. Yeah. So if he's not getting his bites like he wants, doors always open. Doors always open. You've been here, doors always open, man. Right? Unless we just like, hey, we're moving on. So Eddie didn't say, hey, we're moving on. Like, this is, just left it where it was. Right?
Yeah.
He didn't know. He's like, hey.
Yeah, it took a very middle of the road approach on it to not say one way or the other about how he felt about Donovan Smith.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is I don't know when we're going to sign someone or if both these things are going to happen, but I will say they've been wanting to make that move to free up that $19 million for a few weeks. I thought once that trade happened with Sneed, and obviously it just went in today, and I didn't realize that the $19 million was still in the books until that trade was finalized. And now that today is officially the day where that comes off, I wouldn't be surprised if the next 2 or 3 days we do make a signing. I don't know what. But the fact that we wanted this trade to happen so we could get that $19 million off and we have this money to spend, there's going to be a move or 2 made, I think, in the next few days. Maybe at least 1 move. I don't know about 2, but.
No, I agree. Yeah, possibly 2, to be honest with you. So, yeah, and I agree with you. I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. And bringing back our guys would be pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Danna had 50 tackles, 6.5 sacks last year. Pretty productive. Yeah.
Pretty productive. That's true. That's solid. Like I said, he's solid defensive end. Teams are looking at like, okay, 50 tackles, 6.5 sacks last year. We're not going to give this guy a big deal, Yeah. And those things still, apply. Hey, shoot, he's undersized, not really good against the run. Our scheme, what we're looking for is he going to be able to fit in our scheme? So.
And from the player's point of view, JD, like when a team's saying, "Oh yeah, like we don't know, like we'll throw you like a 1 year, like something small," it's not like it's like going to change his life on this. But yeah, obviously, like $1 million deal, it's life changing. But he'd rather stay with a team who he knows, and it's going to give him a 1 year similar type of deal. It's like I'd rather stay and compete for a championship again and try us again next year if it's that like little of a difference.
They'll probably throw some incentives that he's able to make so he could get the money. Yeah, why go somewhere else when you won a championship? This is home for you. There's no need to do that, and you're gonna go somewhere and be unhappy, for another, whatever $1 million or whatever it may be. No.
Yeah,
They'd rather go home. I know this. I've been through it. I've seen it, and it's sometimes. Grass is green on the other side. They push you to do this and stuff. And then it's like, man, shoot, if they're only throwing it's just little pennies here between us, why would I head back to Kansas City? Right?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if San Diego or the Chargers take a look at him. Whoa. Well, I just got an emergency alert there. No, but I will say I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers take a look at Mike Danna. Harbaugh was his coach in Michigan. I wouldn't be surprised. The Chargers have made like no moves at all. They've only cut guys. They haven't brought anybody in. So I could potentially see that. And it's also AFC West, an addition in the way AFC West, and we know that goes. The rival teams like taking from each other.
Yeah, well, college is different than the league.
That's true. That's true.
Mike, good seeing you, Mike. Dang on, I didn't come here just to say good seeing you. What about a contract, man? We're looking at other places. We appreciate it. We'll keep you in mind.
We're running a little different scheme than we didn't when you played with us. We're running a little different scheme.
Yeah.
And they already have a lot of money dedicated to Mac and Post, so I don't think they really need another edge rusher to a lot any more money there. So.
I'm the Brown. Ooh, Chiefs signed Jason Dunn to a 1-game contract at his H-back.
There you go, JD. You taking it?
1-game contract, H-back. Boy, I'd be over laid out, pulling out on the stretcher. I get there for H-back for 1 game. I'll wreck some. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll fold some jokers up. You best believe that. I might be one of those that's folded up after the game is over, but you best believe I'm going to come in there hitting some jokers for sure.
Get a nice massage after the game.
Oh, yeah. They're going to do a little bit more than that. Massage, too. Put me in a cold tub. Yeah, put me in one of those what's the name of it? The tanks like Michael Jackson was. Get me back together.
Oh, that's right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.